disrespect to Harley or anybody else,
or Stone Cold or whatever.
When you think of King of the Ring, I think of you, because it took you, because you'd already been on a great trajectory, and then when you won King of the Ring, you turned into just another level of performer, because you did become King Booker.
Oh man!
But you made it matter too.
Oh,
you made that pay-per-view matter, where it was like, because you took that persona on.
Oh man, I loved it, man. That was the greatest time of my career.
Peek out.
Oh man, and I stole that from Savage. No, people didn't realize that. Savage used to do here, so I say, and I always thought Savage was a great king. I always thought Savage was a guy that I really wanted to emulate. And I wanted to take that character to another level as well. I said, man, I want to break the mold. I said, when people remember the King of the Ring from this point on, the only thing they're going to remember is King Booker. And I swear, man, Charmel and I, we had such a great time creating those moments. But it was so real to me. It was so real. It was real as it could possibly be, as far as ruling the SmackDown kingdom with an iron fist, having Finley and Regal as my royal court, and making John Cena bow down and kiss my feet.
Yeah.
It was some of the greatest work.
When you can get a pop and people literally just when they think about King Booker and they don't even have to associate a match with it.
Yeah.
That's special in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what? It was a great time. I always thought about Camelot. I was like, man, some director got to be watching this in Hollywood. That's what I'm thinking. Every Hollywood night, that's what I came to work thinking. I'm like, man, they got to be disappointed, because I was tapping into everybody.
Awesome.
At that time, The Last King of Scotland. One of my favorite movies. I'm watching everything that's good just because I wanted to be there. So for me, it was a great time in my career, as well as I thought about it two ways. I thought being the king of the ring could have been an asterisk on my career. People could have remembered that totally different, as being a clown with the dunce cap on and just acting a fool. But I said I wanted to flip the script. I wanted to make it something totally different, something memorable, to where people remember it from a perspective to where they either loved it or they hated it. And now when I do like conventions and people come up to me and they go, man, I hated King Booker, but now I realize why
how good it really was.
Yeah, that really makes me feel good. As well as even now, they still make. I just had a King Booker action figure just came out. I'm the only king they still make action figures of.
You're the only one I think about, honestly.
You
say King of the Ring, I think of you.
I appreciate it.
For me, there's only two things. It's you and then the Stone Cold promo. Those are the two things.
But I mean,
but I don't even think about the match. I don't even think about the match. I don't think about
and
Stone Cold being the King of the Ring.
I've taken issue with that. As well. As far as people comparing my king run against anyone's.
No. Greatest king run ever.
And I say, and they ranked the kings a year or so ago, and they had Stone Cold at number one. And I say, I can agree with you that you may like Steve Austin more, but he wasn't a better king.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't as noble. He wasn't as...
His promo that he cut afterwards was the only thing that makes you remember him as King of the Ring.
You know what? I give you that.
If he doesn't cut that promo,
but never compare the two.
No.
Never do that.
Believe me, Steve gets all his flowers, which is well deserved. But there's only one king. There's only one king.
There's only one.
There's only one king.
One king.
So I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. Now you were also, during your king run, you were world champion too, were you not?
I was the only king to become world champ. Which is a great honor, because I wasn't really thinking about the world title at that time, but I always equate the world championship as being that thing that signifies you're our guy. Mm-hmm. You're the guy that we're going to run with. Yep. You're going to be represented.
You said you're the only one?
No. I'm the only king that won the heavyweight championship. Now
Simultaneously.
Now they've put in place where if you win the King of the Ring, you actually get a title shot.
Right.
That's because of me.
Okay.
That was because of me. I just want to throw that out there. But
Duly noted.
but no, but what was I? I was talking about something. I lost train of thought. But as far as the King go, winning the heavyweight championship was a great honor. But it wasn't a thought or anything like that. I wasn't thinking about winning the heavyweight championship. But being the guy, knowing that I was representing the show, it let me know that I did an extraordinary job playing that role, because it was a role, it was a character,
Yep.
It was a gimmick, and when you play in a gimmick, you have to really buy into it 100%. Otherwise, it's
No
not
one's
going to
gonna
work.
buy into it.
And I leaned into it 100%. And wow, my queen, my lovely queen, it wouldn't have happened without her.
Yeah, she was
because the thing is, they created the King of the Ring actually, literally because I used to call Charmel my queen all the time. She's my queen. So let's make the King of the Ring. Oh, you'll be the king. And it was something that was put together that quick. I won one match. I became the King of the Ring. People don't even remember that.
Doesn't matter. Don't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But for me to take that role and make it as memorable as it was, man, I tell you, it was a great time in my career. And I remember them saying, man, you still got a babyface run doing this, man. You got to. I was like, bro, I'm done. I'm finished. It was that tough. It was hard. It really was hard trying to summon that every week and go out and play that role, as well as being the heavyweight champion. And people don't understand, being the heavyweight champion in this business is the hardest job in the world. It really, truly is. Because you talk about those dark matches.
Yep.
You might be at the middle of the show. You might even be somewhere in the beginning, come out. You might be in the middle of the show. You might be a match. And then you're going to be the dark match, know. And I remember sleeping on one of the crates one day. And MVP, he came by and he touched me on the shoulder and he goes, "Book, you okay?" And I woke up and I goes, "Yeah."
Went
back to sleep. You know what I mean? Because you got to try to get sleep in between work. You can't be thinking about anything other than that. Being prepared to actually get ready to go. The toughest year and the most, the best, one of the best years I ever had.
Or most rewarding.
Yeah.
Because too, at that point, normally the champion was a babyface. It was a good guy champion. So to be a heel champion, that's just another testament to what you were doing.
To rule the SmackDown kingdom with an iron fist. It was a great time, man. I beat up Batista.
Awesome.
I just beat up Batista one night, man. I just rag-tagged him, like Muhammad Ali. Cena, what I mean? Oh, it was great beating all those guys up, man. It was, Bobby Lashley, man, I rag-tagged him. Oh, my God. And when I go back and watch some of that stuff, it's hard to realize it was me. You know what I mean? Not patting myself on the back or anything like that, but the matches, some of the matches was flawless.
Yeah.
And when what Taker was just talking about a second ago, being able to think for someone else, being able to make sure this match look a certain way, because when you're doing a match, at the end of the day, it's never about how you feel. It's about how the fans walk away from the arena, how they feel when they're leaving, walking through that door, if they still got that feeling somewhere deep. And I swear that I really was trying to bring those moments to life to where those fans really felt, the artistry that we was trying to display on a nightly basis. And I swear it was literally the best time of my career.
What's it going to take to get these stories that always turn into, I can't really talk about it. No, it's...
when we start to say something and it fades off like that, it's usually best just to leave it alone.
Probably for the best.
It's probably for the best. You just let that float away and not bring more attention to it.
Yeah.
Matt, Bud, you're killing me, Smalls.
Hey man, I got I'm here for the fans.
But worked Eric, and matter of fact, that night they come and said, "Hey, would you be interested in working Eric Watts, on the road some?" And I said, "Yeah." And Jody, I said, "When?" Jody Hamilton said, "Can you go now this week?" So I went with George and Stout for TV. All I had was what I made that night, my clothes I had on, and my gear bag. So Arn Anderson and Italian Stallions giving me clothes to take on the road, and I jump in the car with Arn for 2 nights and work Eric every night at a house show, and then get in the car with Harley race driving, Hercules Hernandez in the right seat, me behind Harley,
Handing
and Barbarian
beers.
here.
Whew, brother.
And I'm scared shitless.
You should be.
I am.
There ain't no easy ticket anywhere on that car.
And there's a cooler in the back
It's
for beer.
you're responsible for having
I'm
open.
responsible. So Harley makes it clear real quick. He's driving. We're in Texas. Flat, we're flying. He goes, "Kid, when you hear this, I want to hear." And I missed the first one. Oh,
Oh,
I didn't miss any more.
He pull over.
He was about ready to. He said, "Kid." So I got it and just kept him going, and we made it to the hotel that night. But
There's a lot of people have that very story that, yeah, if you sat in the back and that was your job.
I was right behind him. He was driving. We were running 80 on them flat roads in Texas. I forget where exactly we were at, but he'd roll that window down about halfway, and you hear that. And by God, in about 5 seconds, he better hear a psh, and you hand it to him.
How many would he run through in a night driving like that?
Depends how far the trip was.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like energy drink.
Yeah, yeah, it was like water. He'd do 6 or 8,
Okay.
but
That's not bad.
depending on how far we.
It was only a 10-minute. It was only a 10-mile trip.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes.
He's going from Dallas to Fort Worth. Drink 8 beers
He got at least 8 in him. Oh,
on a 15-minute drive.
what's your finish, kid? That was hard. I'll move. My hip was already bad in WCW, and we went to St. Louis for WCW. And Harley comes down to the show. He wasn't working there at the time, and he saw me come in the back door, and I was limping. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to work. And he goes, "Kid, what's the matter?" I was like, "Mr. Ace," I said, my hips out. And he goes, "Lay down on this table." I'm like, "No, I went to the chiropractor today, and they adjusted me. It's just not the way I'm going to adjust you." You just didn't tell Harley no twice. So I'm lay on this table, and he grabs my foot, and he's "Relax, kid." And I'm thinking, you relax. Harley Race doesn't have your foot. He's got my foot. And he's making these big circles with my foot. And finally he pushes it in, and it sounded like a cannon going off. I'll be dang if I didn't. I was able to go and work. As soon as the match was over, I couldn't walk again. But I was able to get through that match, and that was happened to be the last match on that loop. So, yeah, it sounded like, man, it was. I was like,
He was a very knowledgeable guy on a lot of stuff.
yeah,
Wasn't he?
oh, absolutely,
I think so.
Was he on that Mount Rushmore of just tough guys?
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd have to be.
I seen him and Scott Norton when I was in WCW. We were in Louisiana at a hotel bar that's inside the hotel, and they got a pool in there. It looks very tropical. I can't remember exactly where it was, but he bent, and I just seen Scott Norton a few months ago. He bent Scott Norton's ring on his finger when they were doing a squeeze contest. Scott still talks about it. He remembers it. He remembers the hotel and everything.
Yeah, you don't forget things like that.
Yeah. So, but Harley was tough.
Yeah, Harley was a
Does
real
he
deal.
work in today's product though? I mean, with his look and everything else, like I just feel like it wouldn't.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to say with what today and Harley's generation, Harley knew how to tell a story.
Yeah.
I think it applies, but I don't know if our fan base now has the patience.
Yeah.
Read
the story.
To read the story and to let the story, like, I don't know that, like, I could work in this day and age, because it took me a while to set the table before I got into the payoff of the story.
Yeah.
Where I think there a lot of the fans now are conditioned to instant gratification, and the guys doing just crazy stuff right out of the get go and kicking out and doing all these different things. Again, that's one of those reasons why I like Gunther so much.
Yeah.
He's kind of a throwback and doesn't throw everything at you.
You just look at Harley, though, and that his look at first just doesn't put him over. You know what I mean? Like, you look at Drew McIntyre today, or a Randy Orton or something like that, and it's like,
would you want somebody like Harley backing you in a bar, or somebody nowadays?
I would take Harley.
Oh yeah,
And give me a little bit. Give me Harley. Give me a little Haku. That'd be good. A little Barbarian. Yeah. The only person Barbarian's afraid of is his wife.
Mama.
Yeah.
Oh really?
That's it.
It's the holiday season. Mm-hmm. People are gonna probably eat a little too much, maybe put a few pounds on.
Oh yeah,
I've been known to do that.
Yeah, you started early.
Yeah, I started back in like March.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this time of the year, you don't have to be terrible. You can still work out. You can still try to get that workout in. Mm-hmm. Something that's going to help you, give you a little bit of motivation, is that first Phorm ignition. That right there, buddy. That'll get you off the couch.
That'll get you off the couch.
And that will get you in the gym.
Yep. And this is definitely bulking season.
Bulking season.
So yeah, you got to use stuff. You have to use stuff like ignition to get you going, man. And first Phorm, man, they hit it right on the mark with this. You get a little bit of that in your system, yeah. A full belly, yeah, you're going to want to hit the gym.
And we don't promote anything that we actually don't believe in. This is something you've said off camera and everything else. Their pre-workout.
Oh, it's
legit.
Oh, it is legit. There are many times where I have to go in deep because I don't feel like training. I don't have to anymore if I don't want to.
And that makes it tough.
And it does make it tough. So and I'm not sometimes I have super discipline and sometimes not so much. But I tell you what, if I get in the ignition, well, I'm gonna work out
whether you want to or not.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I got to burn that off. And no, first Phorm, first Phorm definitely got it right there. And what a product!
Absolutely, they've been with us essentially since the beginning. Great folks over there that make great products, great human beings, great Americans. We love everything about what they're doing. This holiday season, it's fine. If you want to eat that extra piece of pumpkin pie, that's fine. But just remember.
What about some white meat turkey? Like the late night, why does it got to be pumpkin pie?
I love me some good pumpkin pie, boy. Let me tell you something.
Might we digress there?
Oh, and the casseroles. Dude. Man alive. I'm not a turkey guy.
You're not a turkey guy.
I like turkey sandwiches.
What's your meat of choice?
Ham. Give me a ham.
Figured.
Oh, man. My ankles will be swollen by like Saturday from all the ham I eat.
You swallow all that sodium.
All that sodium.
Blowed up like a puffer fish.
It's bad. It's bad. It's to a point where like I have to. So I buy a ham for myself for the whole weekend. I'll cook it at the house and I'll eat the whole thing myself.
I don't need to know all that.
So it's pretty bad. So, but come Monday,
take that home with you.
After Thanksgiving,
take that home with you.
I'm going to start my first Phorm regiment and get back in the gym and get myself in shape. That's the only way I can do it.
I normally hoard all the ignition when we have it here on set. Take that with you.
Take this one with me.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate First Phorm, guys. Go check out First Phorm. The link is in our description, and get yourself some great products. They got all kinds of stuff over there. They got beef sticks. They got the pre-workout. They got the proteins. They got everything you want.
Protein's solid too.
Yeah, really good flavors there. The stuff works. Go check them out. Thank you, First Phorm, for supporting our podcast. We appreciate it. Taker, what can you tell us about your Hell in a Cell match against Brock Lesnar from No Mercy in 2002? I feel like that match doesn't get enough credit. This is the match where you bled out 10 gallons of blood. LOL. One of the craziest visuals I've ever seen in wrestling. What's it feel like to lose that much blood? Thanks for your time.
I did lose quite a bit of blood.
Oh, she put a picture on here.
Oh, did she? Can I see
yeah.
it?
Yeah, you're looking pretty rough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like you've been through the ringer on there.
That was, as you can imagine, a extremely physical match.
Just by the looks of this picture, yeah.
The match for that time period, that match warranted that kind of blood. It was that I think I went away. It was the next day at TV where I ended up I don't know if I had hurt something or whatnot, but I took some time off after the next TV. But yeah, working with Brock inside in a cell is interesting too. I mean, because he's so athletic, especially that's his first time in.
Yeah.
And he was young and explosive. He even then he had good instincts, but he didn't have, he wasn't nearly as polished as he was when he came back. His wrestling IQ and acuity was so much better when he came back. But what he didn't have then was, but he made up for in athleticism and raw strength and energy and just viciousness. And he had those intangibles that it's hard to teach people. Aggressiveness, viciousness, be a closer, a killer. He had all that, just instinct. I mean,
it was just a natural.
It's ingrained. Yeah, it's a natural thing. It was ingrained in him. And to work against that character, that's the American Badass version. But still, you had to have that, especially in Hell in a Cell, which I had already by that time had several Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah.
So he had to bring it, and he did 100%. It was. I think it's underestimated as far as when you start talking about
Hell in a Cell
matches.
Yeah, it doesn't get brought up very often.
It epitomizes what Hell in a Cell was created for. You know, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves kind of deal. And that's exactly what happened. Heyman was out there with him. I think Heyman even got color in that match. Everybody got color in that match.
I feel like you two guys were built for that type of match.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
those two characters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was the American Badass there, but I still had all the origins of the original Undertaker, and that little bit of that mystique was still there. And he was just he was a killer. I mean, he was just that guy that had that mean streak and viciousness, and just he was an animal.
Did you like wrestling Brock Lesnar more as Undertaker or more as the American Badass?
Either one, really. It didn't matter because it didn't matter. I don't think it mattered to him.
Yeah.
He was always aggressive. And that was the key for people to be successful working against me, is they had to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people would be intimidated by the character and everything, my history and everything else, that they would wait for me to tell them to, okay, come on, let's go, bring it. I never had to tell Brock that. Brock just, he was pedal to the metal.
Did he know how to slow down though?
No. His timing, everything was good. No, everything was good.
Yeah.
But just that I didn't have to tell him when to be aggressive, when to be that killer animal kind of person. He just knew, and he had that, and it didn't matter which character it was.
Yeah.
I think he
probably throttled it up even a little bit more when I was in that original Undertaker character or the darker side of it, because just of the supernatural part where I'm going to set up and do all that. So he had when he had me down, he didn't let up. He didn't glad hand. He didn't look around. He stayed on me. And that's what my character always, if you're going to get sympathy on it, it has to be that way. And it didn't matter if you were a big guy or a little guy, you had to be tenacious. And if you got the Undertaker down, you had to be able to keep him down.
Yep.
And if you didn't get that, it's going to be a long night at the office. It's going to be hard.
And every time you get him down, try to pin him. Try to beat
Absolutely.
him. Try to pin
You
him.
just try to beat him. Try to win and get away, and you're going to be good. But if you were timid in any way, man, it'd make it a hard night, because it's me having to try and pull that out of whoever I'm working with, and I never had to do that with Brock.
Bluechew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up, Dennis, at Bluechew.com.
I will try
one of
Bluechew.
their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
Yeah. I want to try
Bluechew
it.
tablets are made in the USA.
Nice. You got to throw that radio
Best
voice
part,
on.
it's done all online. No awkward conversations.
Like this
I don't
one.
think
I
you
enjoy the awkward conversations.
Like right now.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
can take anytime, day or night.
yeah.
And you know what? 6 Feet Under's got a great special for you.
Tell
We've got
me
a
about
special for our listeners. Try Bluechew free.
Ladies and
when you
gentlemen,
use
try
our promo
Bluechew
code
free.
6 feet at checkout, just pay $5
6 feet.
shipping. That's Bluechew.com. Promo code 6 feet to receive your first month free. Visit Bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring this podcast and the Godwins.
Just take the blue chew and let's hit the road.
I've had like 4 of them. I love you, Big Show. He sold the house to Big Show. Him and family was there for years. Big Show moves in. Within 6 months, Big Show has to have the septic system completely drained. He filled it up in 6 months, and they had been there for years.
I've been there for years.
Yeah.
What was he eating?
He's a giant, and he has giant poops. I said poop.
Poops.
Poops.
You said poops.
I said poops.
What is the septic?
No, seriously, right?
It's serious. It
Seriously.
sounds ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's true.
Yeah.
We have got to get Big Show
Oh,
on
yeah.
here.
That would be a good one.
'Cause, holy God.
Oh my God, I love the ones. There's nothing funnier than seeing someone that size kowtow to this guy. You know, like there that time, like right after the ministry, he pulled Show in with him, and just the he didn't get the dad looks, but he got the disappointed.
He
and
got
I think
plenty
he
of
got
dad
sent
looks.
down to Ohio Valley, didn't he?
Not because of me.
Well.
I tried to keep him from being sent anywhere.
Yeah, he did a great job.
If he'd have seen what I saw in himself, that
Oh my
then-
God, amazing! But
Yeah.
he wanted to do flippy dippies, you know.
flippy
I do
dippies.
flippy dippies, man.
Are you a flippy dippy?
Sometimes I was a flippy.
A hippie dippy. You're a
Sometimes
hippie.
I
you
am
get
a
the
hippy
flippy
dippy.
dippies. Yeah.
I am a hippy dippy.
Of course, everyone's asking, is Brock going to come back? Is he going to come back? Is he going to come back? And I don't know if he's going to come back or not. It doesn't have to.
I don't think so.
He is, you know, his bust is in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, already. Like, it's,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He has nothing to prove to anyone. Man, him and Gunther. I hadn't thought about that till this moment right now.
Right now,
Yep.
it would propel Gunther to even another level.
Yeah.
To work a program with Brock. To the heights that I think Brock could bring him to would be make him untouchable,
Yeah.
because he already has his own style, he has his own pace and everything else. But to work with somebody, a beast like Brock, would push him to levels that I'm not sure there's anybody on the roster right now that does that.
No, and that's the thing is, like, what Gunther also does is he chops the tree down, right? Like, you watch him, he'll work your leg. He's always, his first move of the match is intentional to be able to build something for his last move of the match.
Right.
And I think you've got to have somebody like that with a Brock Lesnar, right? One move doesn't beat Brock Lesnar. You've got to have.
You've been studying, young Matt. You've been studying. Go ahead.
You've got to have.
I'm sitting under your tree.
You've got to have 20, 30 minutes worth of moves to beat a Brock Lesnar. And
you got to have 20 or 30 minutes of story. But yes.
But I mean, that's the thing. You've got to have 20 or 30 minutes of doing something to a Brock Lesnar to even think about beating him. You know, you're not Roman. Like a Roman Reigns is one thing, right?
Right.
But nobody looks at Gunther as a Roman Reigns.
No, I don't think so.
And it's going to take for Gunther with a Brock Lesnar to have this 25, 30 minutes of being able to tell the story to the audience of, I've done all of these things. That's why I just beat him, for people to believe it, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you want to steal WrestleMania? You want night one's main event to be better than night two's main event?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd like to see that. That's very compelling to me. But what do I know?
I just think on the roster right now, there's a lot of guys that I think in Berlin it's going to be a phenomenal match to watch Randy Orton wrestle Gunther by. You know, it's going to be amazing. And Randy Orton in his own right is another GOAT. But I'd look at the rest of the roster. I think a CM Punk match is fine. I think a Drew McIntyre is fine.
Those are all wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Brock's a different. He's a different animal in what he does, in his approach. Everything he does is, you understand. He doesn't do anything. Brock doesn't do anything crazy, but everything that he does means something.
And it's scary.
And it's violent, and it's easy to understand that you should not be on the receiving end of anything that Brock does.
Gunther's in the ring. There's nobody's music that plays that's on the roster right now that's going to come out and interrupt a promo where Gunther has some fear on his face. It took Kane and his entrance to put fear on your face for the first time. Mm-hmm. That's the only person I could think of right now that they could bring back that's going to walk out there and you're going to see some type of reaction from Gunther that's not a stoic, I'm better than you, I'm badder than you reaction.
Yeah,
I think you're going to get that first reaction of, oh my.
I don't.
In his own way.
I don't know that it's. I think it's almost a look of Gunther is so in touch with his character and he exudes such confidence. I don't know that it is a hokey, like.
Oh, it's not going to be hokey.
No, it's more of a. Well, I didn't see that coming.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be about, Okay, all right. Well, it's going to, I was expecting such and such, but now I've got Brock.
Yeah,
That's going to be a little
would
different.
be fun, man. That would be fun to watch and see how Gunther handled that. I think he'd handle it. I think he'd handle it well, and I would like to watch that myself.
Yeah, I would love to see those two in the ring. I think it would be, it'd be a throwback match.
Oh, absolutely, it would be.
Yeah. Does Brock take the chops? Like,
yeah, Brock don't give a shit. He don't care.
I don't care.
Everything you just have to realize everything that you give, you're going to receive.
And when you were at WCW, at what point did you look at the competition? You go, man, we've got a good thing going, but they're catching up.
Well, I mean, of course, in that period, where WCW had taken off, I really truly believe it was because of the NWO spark. that right there was just hard not to be a part of that ride right there. And I think it was lightning in a bottle. It was a phoenix, man. And I just think, I don't care, what company was around at that point in time, seeing that the way they produced it, it almost killed every baby face in the company, and it almost ruined wrestling.
I think it was the best and worst thing that ever happened to WCW.
I say all the time, the NWO could have killed the business. It really could have. That's how
If it hadn't imploded.
If it hadn't imploded, it was like that. And I just think, right after that and right before that, I don't think WWE did anything different other than start working a little bit harder, start grinding a little bit better, start pulling together a little bit more, and it evaporated over a period of time. But in the mid to late '90s, that's when the war was.
The biggest thing that it did, and I think it was what was so good about it, is they changed the programming they changed the demographic. Like when the NWO started and all that, it wasn't a kid thing.
Yeah.
It was that 18 to 34-year-old male demographic. And they were doing real reality-based things that you could like, oh, okay, I understand that. It's not comical, or it's not kid, which was where we were still at.
Yeah.
We still had a bunch of, me of all people to talk, but there were a bunch of silly characters that we were still trying to sell merch to. And these guys are selling a story that's like, oh, I feel that, right?
Yeah.
These
You
are
wanna go drinking
gangsters, and this is
Want to
this
go
stuff's-
drinking with them? They got women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throwing the suck it. I mean, not the suck it side, but they were doing all kinds of stupid stuff. But
So it forced us to change. And then once we, like I said, it was a slow process of like, okay. And then it turned into the war.
Yeah.
And then that was, the
but
greatest
not
time.
just that. They flipped the script by doing the same thing, but just doing it better. I think that's what happened. I mean, I think DX, had a whole lot to do with it. I think, Taker, of course, had a lot to do with it. But so many other, guys had so much to do with it as well.
I think also that just as someone that, sat on the couch and watched it every Monday, it got to a point for me where I was just like, who's not in the NWO?
Well, exactly my point.
Versus DX, you got five guys that's just like
they did it and they did it better.
Yeah.
NWO, it totally just took on a life of its own.
I felt like it was like you were the only person not.
That was by design. That was by design too. I remember I always tell the story of Scott Hall. It was right after the NWO got started. I guess they had Hall, Nash. They may have had one more member in there, and Scott Hall, he come up to me, hey bro, and I go,
That's pretty good. Go ahead. Go
he
with
goes, we need some color, bro.
I've never heard this either. This is awesome.
We want you to join, man. And I go,
You had a quota to fill.
That's DEI now.
Oh my gosh. Is that what it is? NWO was DEI.
NWO was the first. They were the first ones.
but I actually turned it down.
Good for you.
I said, nah, man, I'm a solo act, man.
Smart move.
But the thing is, I knew if I would have joined the NWO, I would have been taking all the bumps, and I'd have been on all the house shows.
That's how that translated,
So I
right?
say, to hell with that.
Yeah.
That deal. Okay.
That doesn't sound like a good deal for me.
Do you think if NWO would have just kept it to, the
Oh,
Outsiders
man.
and Hogan?
They still be selling merch.
Yeah.
They still be one of the biggest, greatest factions in the history of the game that ever went down in this business. That's the way I really feel about it. I mean, it could have really been something that was everlasting, but I really, I say it all the time. I really don't think they knew what they had. I think it was they slipped on a banana peel.
Yeah.
And it created itself, and it was like AI. It took over.
Yeah. But do you think if they'd have kept it small, do you think WCW keeps going, or do you think Vince and the WWE still takes over?
It wouldn't have. No, it would have imploded.
No matter what.
Still, yeah.
Your Hell in a Cell with Mick or Rock's I Quit chair match, what do you think was more unnecessary, dangerous, blah blah blah, other than the falling through the cage,
which was an accident. So
scary,
that
yes.
wasn't supposed to
So that-
happen. So I would have to think
Rocky went way overboard too.
well, I don't think it was just Rock. I mean,
Cactus didn't stay down. I've told everybody that. Do you agree?
I think you get to a point where obviously Mick is trying to protect Mick's character and put Rock over. But it was
It
gratuitous.
was brutal with his family in the front row.
Yeah, it was really gratuitous. But I mean, how I can't.
It's a gimmick.
I can't say what they did was wrong or what was right. I've done
It
things that
did phenomenal for Rock. Made Rock a great heel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've done. You hung the boss man. You tied people up.
I've done some things, man.
You've done some things. And some
Sacrificed.
shit. It's like them old Vietnam guys. I seen some things, man. And some shit.
I got that 1,000-yard stare.
That doesn't have to stare.
You've seen some things. You've done some things. I just don't understand that though. I just don't understand like if I'm wrestling in this ballroom of this hotel and I'm trying to just get seen. I guess you think, okay, I've got to do the most extreme over the top thing. Maybe that's going to get me seen. Maybe that's going to get me on in a video that goes viral that maybe somebody in the office sees it. But I mean, I flip over to Raw. I'm seeing this
Professional.
15,000 person arena on a
Yeah.
Monday
Yeah.
sold out, and I don't see any fluorescent light bulbs being taken over somebody's back. And
It's weird. You go from that little ballroom to AEW, where they're kind of doing that, to the NFL or the whatever, the Pinnacle, and none of that's being done. It's a story. They forget that the most important thing. Freaking stories, dude. Tell a story. I want to know why you're mad at each other. I want to know who the good guy is, who the bad guy is. I want to see the good guy beating the bad guy up, and then the good guy having to overcome that by cheating, and then wearing the good guy out until the fans come alive, and the good guy finally makes it back and beats the bad guy. It's the simplest story in the friggin' world. No one tells it. I don't want to see Canadian Destroyer 9 times. I don't want to see freaking, light bulbs and that. Am I wrong to a point?
No, you go ahead. No,
Yeah.
you go.
You go, boy. Yeah, it is the simplest thing in the world. Tell a friggin' story.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
our great sponsor here, Artisan Grange. We've talked about them for a while now. These guys got a little CBD pouch, 5 milligrams, great flavors.
Which flavor is this?
This is the wintergreen. So if you're trying to come off dip or anything like that, you gotta have to cut. These are brand new cans. Artisan Grange help you out. Ooh, look at you with your knife. I've seen you sitting over there with that today.
I thought I might need it.
Artisan Grange is a company started when a group of former tobacco dippers wanted a dip alternative that actually tasted like tobacco. So they decided to make one on one condition. It supports American farmers. No matter what your taste, hemp dip satisfies without tobacco, nicotine, or fake fillers. Each pouch contains 5 milligrams of full spectrum CBD from the hemp. The community of hemp dippers who have switched from tobacco and other alternatives is a proud group of dippers who have pride in dipping as a simple pleasure again. One you can do because you want to, not because you have to, and supporting the American tradition of farm quality. So, thank you, Artisan Grange, for sending us some of this product. You gotten in there yet?
I can't get in.
What is? Man. You can tell you're from the West Coast over here in Texas.
The West Coast. The Southwest Coast.
It smells good. Smells like a wintergreen.
Did you get one?
Yeah, it tastes pretty good.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, thank you, Artisan Grange, once again for supporting 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway.
Thank you, Artisan Grange. 23 years. I'm still Can't believe you turned on me like that.
That wasn't me, man.
The old man made you do it, didn't he?
The old man made me do it, man. He was in the air. The referee giving me the Iggy, man. Just tagging me over.
Of all y'all's great matches in the history of your, is that something that probably did people ask you about the Spinneroonie more than anything?
More than anything.
Yeah, it's
And it
all
wasn't
the
even
time.
on television. But
No, it was. So back then we'd do a dark match. They'd advertise one match. It was at a TV, but they'd advertise one match to sell tickets. And I don't know. We'd been a couple of months as a tag team.
Yeah.
And we'd finish the night and did the same thing every night. I'd cue it up for him. He'd get on the mic, and man, he'd start doing the Spinneroonie. Great. I'd get on the bike. I'd ride out. It was all. I mean, it was just. It was poetry. And then one day, like a viper, he just bit me. Just like, I was shocked. I was like, no, he did not. Just say that out loud. And you know the fans like,
they're leaning into it.
I definitely want to see. I definitely want to see.
What brought this
my
about,
God.
Booker? How?
Vince McMahon. Okay, that's what brought
Man,
it up.
cruel.
I had nothing to do with it. I plead the fifth on everything else. But it was good. No, but for me, actually doing it, trying to, convince him to do it through the fans, trying to get the fans to motivate him to actually do it. I thought he was going to do it. I did. Everybody's done the Spinneroonie. I mean, he's the only one that's never did the Spinneroonie. So I felt kind of bad that, we didn't get, everybody has done the Spinneroonie at least once. So I thought it would have been a great time. It would have been a great moment. It would have been a great memorable moment.
I think
Can you imagine? But
Hall of Fame highlight.
But listen, seriously. That's what made it work even more so by him not doing it, because he is that guy. Yeah. He's the only guy that couldn't do it and perhaps live it down because of the character.
Because of the character.
Yeah.
The character, man, was so strong, and that's what, to be able to spot that, to be able to not go along with the program because everyone else has gone along with the program. It's ingenious.
And was there ever an inkling of a thought to ever get down?
There was no way. There was no way it was going to happen. And I'll never forget. He seems like he comes up in every show, but I think Vince sent Big Show because I finally caught after this has gone on for an hour. After the tapings are over, after the dark match is over, this goes on for like an hour.
And the whole locker room comes out.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody that was still in the building was in the ring. And I finally caught my opening, and I took it. And I looked back, and here comes Big Show after me. And I got through that curtain, and I said, let me tell you what. You may kill me, but I said, you touch me or try and pull me out of here, me and you going to fight. And he's like, I'm just telling you what the boss said. And I was like, well, you go back and tell him kiss my ass, because I ain't coming back out. And I said,
oh man!
Now, what was y'all's next conversation?
It was once it got back, I was just like, I can't believe y'all. It was like a hit.
In the ring,
it was a hit job, man.
It's on camera. Because there was cameras still rolling, of course, and he goes, Booker, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm about to say, what did he say in the ring?
That's what he said in the ring. I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you.
And
I
didn't do it.
Were you expecting everybody to come out of the locker room?
That was all ad-lib.
Yeah, you had no idea that was going to happen.
I think he actually expected that I was going to do it, and then people started coming down. I mean, everybody came down. Rock came down.
I tell you, man, when The Rock came down and he cut a promo, on Vince. You think you can do something? You think you can do the Spinneroonie? You can't do that Spinneroonie. Let me show you how to do that thing.
It was just gasoline on the fire. The fire was getting out of control too, man.
Well, they got to a point that people forgot that they were trying to get you to do.
That's why I got out. They got so many people in there, and everybody's so engaged. Like, I was like, that's it. I'm Hank Snowing out of here. I'm gone, man.
Oh, but what a great night.
Tell us about the night you won the belts.
Okay. Would you like to tell?
You tell.
He's Walt Whitman over here, right? With the
I started the first one. You did this one.
Oh, you got it, buddy. All right.
Well, hold on. I don't think your boy's taking a pull yet.
Uh-oh. Did the non-wrestler just call out a wrestler?
You need one?
Dude, do you remember that guy
took a poll.
Do you remember that guy in the landing strip when we were walking to the door? He would always try to squeeze your hand really hard.
No.
Yes, because you got super mad at him. You're like, dude, what the? Not that serious.
How many F-bombs are you going to drop?
I'm trying to break last times.
You're well on your way.
I don't think so. I think I cursed a lot more last time. Dalton, what do you think?
Dalton.
More cussing this time or last time? This time? Wait till next time.
Dalton wants more, he said. Yeah. All right, tell us all about the night that you won the belts.
We went to Madison Square Garden, wrestled the Body Donnas, and won the belts. It was awesome.
What a great night.
What a great story.
Is that it?
No, there were other things that happened.
What was the celebration like?
Where'd y'all
Dennis?
stay?
Has nothing to do with the celebration.
You know where we stayed.
You know where we
Newark.
stayed. Newark.
The Hilton, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Hilton. Yep.
Okay, this was the thing. At this point, all right, I'm gonna preface this story with throwing into another story. At that time period, when the guys
Imagine
were
that.
baby,
Yeah, he never does that.
imagine that. My brain is a pinball machine. You know that, don't you?
Oh, we know. Still don't bet hands.
Yes.
Okay, so at that point, Godwins are and when we got there, we got a lot of 8-man tags with the Bushwhackers, who were the perfect people to. It's like, mate, it doesn't matter who wins or who loses. What matters is after the match, you get the kids in the ring and you dance, blah 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 blah. That's all that fucking matters. So, okay, we do that, right? All right, so at this point in time, the Godwins are like the baby faciest of the PC groups. We broke a record of going to radio stations and appearances
He
in
put
a
a
row
stop to
on
that.
the road. And yes, and
One night.
we were in the middle of that in 2 days, and we got to the building in, where did Michael Rappaport used to come? In New York. Was it Staten Island or was it Long Island? Anyway, it was Long Island. Long Island, and yeah, don't worry about it. I was just needing a reference. And we get to the building after like 3 6 a.m. radio interviews, 2 appearances somewhere else, and this, and then to the building to wrestle. And he sees us, and one of the office people come in like, we need you to do a meet and greet with the people at the building. And he freaking stands up. He's like, you get the fuck out of here. You go find somebody else. You don't tell these guys what to do, blah, blah. And I never felt so, I was like, Daddy, you know, I never felt so good.
What was it like?
Daddy. And and they took us. We did a lot of we did a lot of appearances.
Yeah. There's sometimes if you're too
Push.
nice,
They'll take advantage.
they will take advantage of you. And then there's nobody in the position of the guy that was telling you guys that you had to go do that. One, he shouldn't be talking to you the way he was talking to
I've been
you.
there a year.
He was, and then it was just like,
Yeah.
they'd been busting their butt, which is, I mean, that's part of it, but
Oh, yeah.
because they're not gonna they're not gonna say anything.
And our character, we were very media and kid and people
friendly, but still,
Yeah.
you don't come in and say, hey, get ready, you got to go do this. Like, dude,
He did. He was kind of a dick to us about
yeah,
it.
that's
which
what
just threw you off.
that's
Yeah.
what I didn't like the way he
nice.
talked. So
Did you ever?
Thanks,
you ever do
Dad.
that?
you're welcome, son.
Taker?
Yeah.
He's never had to. I don't put my.
Ooh, look at you. Yeah. Anyway.
So what about the night you won the
Okay, the night we won the belts. Anyway, so that's going.
thought we
That's why
covered
we're
that
doing
already.
that. It was right around that.
we haven't gone that.
It was right around that period of time when we're doing all of these appearances. So we fly into Newark, get a room at the Hilton, and then the office sends a car to come pick us up, and it's me and Henry and Savio and Al Snow. And it was in the middle of the day before the garden show, and they sent us to a hospital in Queens with children who are never getting out, low-income children who are never getting out. And you just have to be nice and not, and make them feel good for a little while, give them a shirt, play with them, blah, 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 blah. And it's awesome. It's really a very fulfilling thing that you can do when you realize, oh, I'm getting ready to go wrestle at the most famous arena in the world. In this case, it's never getting out of this room. You know what I mean? It sucks for you, but I'm going to go to the garden. Just kidding. But anyway, so we go out of the appearance.
Just when you have them
Yeah,
right
I
there
know.
on your
Dude,
side,
twist it.
Yeah,
twist
just-
it.
you have to turn heel.
I do.
The ultimate
I can't
heel.
help it. Okay, so we get back in the limo after playing with these kids and everything, and it was just a great time. And it's me and Henry and Savio and Al Snow. And Savio, and we're in the thing, and Henry, or Snow, Al and Savio are in the back part of it. And Savio starts crying. And then we all start crying. And we feel like crap as we're going to the building. So, Midian or Phineas to the rescue. By the time we got to the building, we did not feel as bad as we did when we left that hospital. So we get to the building, and then we get called in the office, and we were told that we are winning the championships that night. So, like, cool, sweet. Which, along with a lot of our stuff and my stuff I Forrest Gump through wrestling, happened to also be the night of the curtain call.
Yeah.
That's the night we won the belts.
Oh, wow.
Little takeaway from us. Anyway, so we go out, wrestle, body nose. Fantastic match. One of our best. Remember the mule kick and run around?
Tackle, yeah.
Our best tackle, yeah. And we were great with them. It was Candido, phenomenal. So then after the match, we win. And first thing I see as we come back, Yokozuna has come to the curtain to watch our match. And he's like, BSK. And I was like, awesome, right? You know, Yokozuna. And everybody was like, all these guys, we got back because we all dressed in the same room. They were like, cool, and everything. And then it was us and Hillbilly. We found that instead of driving into the city, like the mayor and them would do to save money, if you rent a limo in Newark, it would take you to the building. It would take you inside the building. It would come and pick you up and back for like $100, $150. And like 3 or 4 of you would do that, and it was so much better than having to park because you would have to find me, just cross the street.
They ripped their antennas off and
It was a pain.
try to break your mirrors off.
Remember? Like you had that kind of heat, cutie. Just kidding. So anyway, we in the belt. Great celebration, Earl. We did a lot of dancing. It was a good, and it was right at the beginning of kind of the Attitude Era. It was right. It was the first sellout that the Garden had in like a year, and it was cool. We did that. Blah blah blah. Watch the rest of it. We're going back to the hotel in Newark, and it's me and Henry and Hillbilly. We got a limo, and we're going back. And if there are any fans of 6 Feet Under podcast, you'll remember a certain phrase that I use called dragonfly. Had some dragonfly. Me and Henry have the dragonfly. And we go back to the hotel in the Hilton. Was it the Hilton? It was the Hilton or the Vermont?
It was either the Hilton or the Jetport.
The Jetport was the Holiday Inn. That had the restaurant. That had the Japanese restaurant, right?
Maybe,
Okay. Anyway, so we're at the Hilton, and we go back after winning the belt, and we go to the bar there, and just packed, and hanging out with Steve Austin, and he's hanging out, and this guy, is just,
Doing this
Did you
thing.
guys tell the story about him when you were like, oh, I bet you can't go, and blah, 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 and he was like, oh, I bet I can, and he went and did it, and then brought other things back as well.
You were sitting over there
I
on
had
that
earphones
cat.
and I listened to not a word of what you guys said.
Okay, it's been covered.
Yeah, okay. So then we head back there. We're at the bar, and, then the dragonfly starts buzzing around in my head, buzzing around in his head. We start going and everything like that, and then we meet some female friends, and we're like, hey, and, friggin' HBO over here. I was like, hey, let's go. It's like, okay, we go back. And the girl that I'm with just actually wants to pretend to go to sleep. Yes. And just say, I spent the night with blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her, and he's in the bed next to me. I said, I am on so much acid right now. There's no way in hell I can lay in this bed here with you for another minute. So I get up, and I walk out the door, and I go to the elevator, and I hit the button, and then the elevator opens, and it was that goth girl and that big, tall, black, half American Indian girl. And they grabbed me, and they took me to their room. And I spent the night in their room watching. Mark wasn't there, so he couldn't put the dirty movies on, but watching various wrestling movies. with the two women.
Odd right there.
And that was the best day of my life.
I get it, because we danced around a couple things.
Yeah. With the great payoff. That's what storytelling
Yeah.
is. I started with the kids ain't getting out of the hospital.
Yeah, no, you covered
They're
it all.
happy for me.
But
Yes.
you kept it clean, and you sort of danced around, but everybody got.
I know. It's almost like somebody should pay me for the words that come out of my mouth.
When you first getting into the business, I think for me, I had tunnel vision. I really wasn't thinking about a whole lot of guys around me until I got to that point to where I could feel a little bit comfortable.
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't feel comfortable for a long time. And then by the time I got to WWE at that time, of course I felt comfortable, but I knew I was stepping into a war zone at the same time.
Yeah.
I knew I was coming into a place to where, man, these guys don't like us. It's going to be sink or swim here. Let me figure out how to make it in the locker room before I have a chance at making it in the ring. I always tell the story about when I first got to WWE. It's the TV locker room and it's the locker room. Okay, the boys dress in the locker room. The TV locker room is for the camera guys, but the veterans, OGs, they could dress in there too. And I remember dressing in the locker room, doing my thing, going out and working, performing, doing my thing. I tell my students, if you can't make it in the locker room, you can't make it in the ring. Just not going to happen. You got to be able to make it in the locker room first. So I just continued to do my thing. And I remember I came to work one day. I don't even know if they can remember this. And he goes, "Hey, man, why don't you come dress over here with us?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm in." You know?
What possessed you to say that to him?
No, it was his attitude. It was that he could work. See, well, a lot of people didn't understand, and I actually want to get your perspective on, because a lot of guys came over and felt like they were held back, and but it was the way that he handled himself, and then he had talent, and it didn't take him, it didn't take you long to adjust, and there is that acclimation period coming from WCW where I think. Yeah, there was only a handful of you that were working everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So there was that process of the WWE way. And if you didn't get it and you didn't understand it, you were dead in the water. You got it, obviously, and Eddie and Chris and those guys got it. But you were the first. I really think that of that group that came over, figured it out. And, plus he's from Houston, and I was like, I can work with him.
Yeah. As well, a lot of those guys in WCW, they just didn't understand either. They thought it was going to be relatively easy. They thought they were stars as well. But I thought about the war that had been going on for forever.
It was legit.
I was like, man, these guys ain't going to just give us a free pass or anything. I was like, they're going to try to step on us, man. So we got to figure out how to go over here and figure this out. And for me, I always wanted to test myself. I would test myself with the best in the world, and I knew the best in the world was on the other side. And
did you know that even while you were at WCW?
Oh, I watched it every Monday night. And I watched the talent, and what they were doing, and it was like, man, I even wanted to be a part of the brawl fall. I was like, man, give me a piece of that. I was like, give me a piece of that action, man. I gotta go throw some hands.
That single-handedly took out more guys. That took out half our roster.
But no, man, I watched everything, and I was a huge fan. Never thinking about really getting to the other side. I was just always wanting to keep an eye on the competition. But when I did have a chance to actually make that move, I couldn't wait to see exactly what I could do, or if I could do it. Yeah.
Nobody watching our show has a clue what he all is. They're gonna be Googling all night. Like, damn, them boys is old.
See, y'all at a hog farm in Nashville.
Huh?
You're at a hog farm there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Doing the
Went
vignettes.
to the hog farm. The old man thought he'd won the lottery. He loved it. Sat on his porch that day and watched us. We did the vignettes, and it started soon after that.
Shane was with you?
Shane, yeah, he flew down with the camera guy and
How'd that go out there on
Yeah,
a
it was
farm
fun.
with Shane? Yeah.
Hell, I was
Shane,
bringing
like
slop out there. And
Shane, like he had been around a pig somewhere at some point in his
Nah,
life. Only
not
pig he'd
really.
been around was his bacon he had for breakfast.
But yeah, we did the vignettes, man. It was an awesome time, and
Was that character that Hog, was that something that Vince came up with, or was that something that you pitched the idea, or
well, I pitched the idea because I grew up like that.
Yeah.
And so, I drove a truck, farmed, worked on the psych floor, worked in the hospital. And he said, "Oh, what about the farming? What kind of animals you got?" I said, "We got cows and chickens, and we raise a lot of hogs." And man, when I said that, it was like, bing. He said, "What do you do to the hogs?" I said, "Well, we slop them.
Don't tell everything.
And then we have to cut them a little bit." And then
Castrate them
just
suckers.
the boars.
Breeding.
And we do it, and on the farm, there's a lot of making bacon going on there. So we raise pigs, and but yeah, he went with that idea, and he goes, he wanted my initials to be HOG, so that's how he come up. And somebody in his family is named Orpheus. He told me.
I don't doubt that. That doesn't
It
surprise
was like a great uncle or his grandfather or somebody in the family. Their name is Orpheus. So that
I
was
don't
my
know
name.
that I knew that was
Henry
what the O
Orpheus
was.
Godwin.
So I thought it was just O. I thought it was
I
just
always
Henry O. Godwin.
I think
yeah.
that I think I may have known it meant so. I never knew.
And then
Orpheus.
Orpheus. Orifice.
Orifice.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Henry Orifice Godwin. What?
Mr. Orpheus.
Mr. Orifice, your order's ready.
There's a hole in that story somewhere. What? I'll be here all week.
Sounds
Remember
a little fishy
it.
to me.
That is that's some wrestling trivia right there.
That is. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so the O is Orpheus.
Yeah. And, told him about, we have big buckets of slop. You save over a week's time, take them down, slop the hogs. And, man, when I said that, it was like he was getting into it. So,
Damn, man. Oh, get a bucket of slop.
yeah.
This is gonna
Pour
be
it on
great.
them. Oh, God. They're going to slop. Damn it. I smell the money.
And I sent you the drawing.
Yeah.
The other day, I cleaned a building out.
Yeah.
I found a box. It had my original drawing of Henry O. Godwin from the developmental
The storyboards.
department.
Yeah,
The storyboards.
He
of,
texted me the
It
pictures of it. Yeah.
says 1094, and it's got the signature of the person who come up with it. And it's got this good-looking guy with pork chops instead of a beard, which after I grew the beard, Vince liked the beard. So we just went with that. But it's got me holding a slop bucket, and it says hog across here and hog across my hat. It's got, this arm's got a rope with a hog, got a collar on. I'm leading it around. So that's pretty much how it all started.
Dude, what if they had give you like a real pig to be your partner instead of
His name
pig?
was Dennis Knight.
Instead of pig.
Instead of pig, what if they'd give you a real pig? Could you imagine having to travel
That
with
would
a
have
real
been
pig?
horrible.
I mean, Jake traveled with the big old python, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
could you
mean,
imagine?
That would have been on the ring crew, right?
It'd have been on a spigot somewhere. It'd have been on. We'd
probably
hate that
may-
sucker.
you may have won the title.
We'd have hated that bet. There's no way that pig would have made
Somewhere
it.
along the line.
You may have won the titles 3 times instead of just twice. I mean, if you had
Exactly.
I mean, you already carried the team, right? I mean, that was the thing.
And Phineas, he was, his initials were Pig.
Yeah.
Phineas Ike Godwin, but he recently changed it to Phineas Indica Godwin. So I
Indica.
don't know where that comes from. But
Indica?
Indica.
Indica.
Yeah.
Is it indigo? Indica? Indica.
Indica weed.
Indigo.
Indigo weed.
Yeah.
Indica. That's
Indica.
his new name. He changed it.
Yeah.
Legally?
I think so.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my, that's the weirdest.
We'll get to that part when we get him.
That's the weirdest part about booking the hotel rooms, when you have to give, Phineas Indigo.
Indigo.
The lady's like, excuse me. Mark, I got to start doing better, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to start doing better. I got to start exercising. I got to start eating better. I just got to start making some changes in my life. I keep saying this.
How long are we going to talk about?
It's been almost a year, but I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna this holiday season, I'm gonna do better.
You're going to do better
I'm
in the
gonna do
holiday
better.
season.
I'm gonna do better during the
You're
holiday
going to pick
season.
the holidays to do better.
It seems like a good time.
Okay, hey,
This
bro,
time,
hey.
it's better than ever. It's
right.
better than ever.
All right.
And Magic Spoon's gonna help me. I'm gonna just eat Magic Spoon from sun up to sundown. I think that's what's gonna do it. Our friends over there, they've got great product. You keep it in your house. You don't let your kids eat it.
No.
You're
No,
just
my
eating it
kid-
by
no,
yourself
No, I
at
hide
night.
it. No, I hide it because they would eat it, and they can get away with eating regular cereal. But
And everybody knows about the cereal, but not everybody knows about the treats here, man.
the treats,
Magic Spoon. They turn their popular cereal into high protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars.
see, I'd have to have those because actually, my kids don't like milk. Well, one of my kids doesn't like milk,
Yeah.
so she'd eat that up quick.
Oh, yeah. So it's just Magic Spoon's brand new treats are delicious and have already become the favorite for an after gym snack, pre-workout,
Yeah.
all of those.
Yeah, I don't know how they make it taste so good with zero sugars, 4 net carbs, and loaded with protein,
Yeah.
and it tastes good.
It actually tastes good.
Yeah, like I don't.
And I think that's the one thing about it. When people see this stuff, they go, "Oh, it's probably going to taste like the box that it came in."
Right.
But
No,
in
you're
all
pleasantly
reality,
surprised.
You're pleasantly surprised. Absolutely.
How they do that?
Not mine. I have no idea, but they
Is
do
that
it.
the magic part?
That's the magic part. That's the magic part. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa. There's so many more, though, and Magic Spoon's brand new treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter.
That's got your name written all over
Bro,
it,
we
brother.
ran through these.
What? You got a mouse in your pocket? All I
And-
saw was an empty box.
For our fans and listeners, get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/6feet. Or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/6feet for $5 off. Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream.
Hold on to the dream. It's going to turn your world around,
It's
brother.
going to turn your world around. Thank you, Magic Spoon. Did you ever wrestle anybody as American Badass and as Undertaker, and they worked differently with you as one character versus the other?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't give you a name, but people were a little different. Obviously, there
Yeah.
was more liberties that you could take with the American Badass
Yeah.
because I was just a big biker kind of guy.
You're humanized as that
Absolutely.
character, so like you could do
Yes.
things different with that character,
Right.
than you necessarily would with the Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, you work off of what I'm doing too. So, and they were really polar opposites. Although I mean, I maintain a little bit of the mystique just from all the years prior, but the American Badass kind of took the shackles off of me of what I could do creatively, and which that's what I needed. I needed that break and that.
And it kind of feels like maybe it almost took an edge off of your opponent too, to where they feel like they could feel like now they're just wrestling just now I'm wrestling a human being and I can wrestle this person maybe
Yeah.
like I typically would just any other wrestler at that point versus the Undertaker.
Yeah, just the thing was that I was so big and agile and all that. They had to be tenacious. Like my better matches were with smaller guys.
Yeah.
Sean, Kurt, those guys, and those guys were tenacious. They were vicious. They got me down, and they realized that
this doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So we have to take advantage of that. Kurt was great at it. He's another one that had that. I think it's that amateur, a little bit of that amateur background that comes boiling up to the top there.
You just have this natural aggression about you that's always going to be there, but you know how to control it because you've been in such this Olympic wrestling or this amateur wrestling background where you have to be able to control it, and you can't show those emotions.
Yeah, and if you don't, then you're probably going to be a short-lived career.
Yeah. We're trying to have a 20-year career here. We're not trying to have a 20-minute career.
Yeah, absolutely. But I enjoyed. Although my record against Brock was not really good, I think I only beat him once in a pay-per-view. But I always enjoyed working with him.
I think he's one of the few people that has a winning record against you. Like, he has the best winning percentage against you. Yeah,
by far, I think.
Yeah.
And then I loved working with Kurt. Man, he was just a machine. We have some matches in the can that I don't think get talked about nearly enough. Storytelling of more so than anything is just because there was a huge size discrepancy between me and Kurt, and just him whittling and whittling and whittling and whittling and trying to get me off my feet and trying to get me off my feet, and then when he finally did get me off my feet, just turning into a Wolverine and honey
He's
badger.
Another guy that just never needed a belt and really never even needed to work, and he could still.
Oh, he's so entertaining.
I mean, he could still draw money just knowing that he's going to come out at some point and talk on the mic. People would show up.
That was the gift he had. I tell people this all the time. Like, for somebody with his background, those shoot wrestlers take it really, really seriously.
Yeah.
And there's very few times that wrestlers that have been really successful in the amateur ranks turn that around and become as successful as Kurt was as a professional. And that's because he got it. He got the business, he understood it, and he could go backstage and do a vignette or a pre-tape or whatever and make himself look like a complete doofus idiot. But then when you went to the ring, brother, I'm telling you, you had to have your boots laced up tight because that dude could go. He was a machine.
Yeah.
And it just, between the two of having all of this personality and this willingness to put himself out there and look silly and dumb, you knew it, ding, 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 brother. It's go time, and you better have them laced up tight.
What's your favorite story right now?
Dom and Liv, dude. They're phenomenal.
You knew it was going to be
You
Liv.
knew it was going to be Liv.
I'm a Liv guy too.
I am a Liv for life, but dude, I mean, I saw you guys just talking about it. Dominic doesn't have to do anything. He comes out there and they go crazy. The friggin' mullet and the mustache.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's not jacked, you know what I mean? He's perfect. You know, the bloodline, I'm sorry, I love you, Haku, in that. One of them needs to learn a little bit more.
He's not dead. Haku's not dead.
I know. But
I don't know. You were a prayer.
Yeah, I know. In case he was up there, you never know with him.
I think all of Haku's kids are amazing, and they're good.
Well, he has kids that are amazing. Yes, you're absolutely right. He has kids that are amazing. Been one of my favorite wrestlers for the last few years and getting the opportunity, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
A monster. I have never seen anyone since maybe Brock Lesnar, but that's different because he was so much bigger and the wrestling in UFC. But I've never seen anyone better come in and immediately strike fear into people, fans, other people. He's a great, again, the Samoans, they can't do wrong.
Yeah, they come out of the womb bumping.
They come out of the womb bumping.
But I also think right now it's a testament to how good Roman Reigns truly is, to where he leaves
Walks away.
He built this bloodline to what it is today, him and Paul Heyman.
It's a soap opera.
And I think Paul Heyman has done some of his
The
best
best.
work
Yeah.
since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Of being able to work with the guys that are there with the bloodline.
Looking scared.
Yes. He looks miserable. He looks like
Terrible.
he absolutely hates his job right now.
Yeah.
He hates the people that he's around. He's wanting Roman
Did
to
you see
come
that?
back.
He would stay up for overnight when they beat him and put him through the table.
Did you hear about that? Where he stayed awake for like 36 hours so he could look.
His eyes and everything when he
Puffy
said,
eyes.
"You're not my tribal chief to Solo," and then they put him through the thing. He stayed up and his eyes were a mess, and
He just
I was
looked
like, "Brother,
exhausted.
call me. I got a better way to do
You got
that."
a much better way.
He ain't got
lot quicker
he can
too.
Sleep tight.
I got a pill that you can
You
take.
get your 12 hours in and still look like
Fine,
hell.
Polly.
But
I
what a
love him.
testament to him, to stay awake for 36 hours
That is
just to have
the-
that look.
That's the loyalty, or the what's the word I'm looking for? That's what it takes to be great. You know what I mean?
How long-
Cactus falling through a thing. Him doing that. Paul doing that.
How long before the fans turn on Cody and beg for Roman to get the belt again?
Do you watch The Boys?
No,
Do you know what The Boys are?
the television show.
It's a television show with superheroes, and the superheroes are like, but they're normal people. So the superheroes are like bad people, but they have superpowers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the main guy is a Superman type guy named Homelander, and
They compared
it
Cody Rhodes to
could
him.
Be just I mean they kind of wear the same thing, but it was never intended that way. Cody never did. They have kind of the same gear, and I think the Cody turn is going to be phenomenal. I would give it another year. We need to build another Roman. Roman's on his way out. We need to build another big guy.
Roman's on his way out.
Well, no, I mean he's done what he's done. He doesn't need to be
I think
there.
Roman's got plenty of
Yes,
run left in
but
him.
he doesn't need to be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
No,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So we need another guy. We need
He's several, but
yeah, they need several.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Seth. Seth's great. You can put Seth out there with anyone, you're going to have a phenomenal match. KO is great, and KO is one of the most believable guys. But you need to you need to make one. Gunther, I think, can be that guy. I think a Gunther, work it to WrestleMania, Gunther and Cody, and have Gunther beat Cody, and then have Cody turn and say, "You guys never gave a about me. You just cared about my dad and the story and whatever you wanted to put on me. I'm here because your life sucked and you're miserable, so you were living vicariously through me." Well, where were you when Dashing Cody Rhodes was here? Where were you when I was painting my stupid face of Stardust? None of you were there. I was there by myself. And you know what? And now you want to cheer for Gunther because he. Screw that. I'm done with all of you. I'm done with all of you. And then he goes super Rick Rude, kind of, maybe not Rick Rude, but Flair, but Arn, just go super hard Jake without the poetry, if you will. But that's what I would do with Cody. But give it another year.
no.
Or at least till Mania.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, he hadn't. I don't think he's peaked yet.
He's doing great with the baby face. I mean, he sent the ring to the kids.
It's
in
inevitable,
Africa.
though. I think it's
Yeah.
inevitable eventually that they'll turn on him.
Who do we have?
Do you think Gunther can draw like Roman does, though?
With the right story and the right stuff around him, he needs a manager. Not Paulie, but he needs a manager.
You don't think he needs a manager?
I don't
You
think
don't think he needs a manager? He doesn't need to talk.
No, he can talk.
Yeah.
He can talk.
Oh, he's good on the mic, I think.
Yeah.
He's
good,
very
like,
he's very arrogant and very carries himself in such a manner that you want to slap him because he's so confident and so arrogant. I think
yeah, that you want to slap him, but you won't because he is that good and
that's
tough
there,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, that's something
Look
he's
at
going to
us.
have to add
Fantasy
to his.
booking, ladies and gentlemen.
That's something he's going to have to add to his repertoire is a little bit of chicken
Yeah.
into his.
Because
into his
you
heel.
think he's the guy that can sell out Jerry's World at AT&T for
with
a
the right
WrestleMania?
person? Yeah.
Yes, there's never been any money in a babyface holding the belt. The money always comes from the babyface chasing the belt.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Undertaker, R.I.P. Because it's your thing. Get it?